Hi, everybody, and welcome back. Hopefully, welcome to some new viewers tonight. I am Nathan. I will be your DM tonight, or your GM, whatever pleases you. I use he, him pronouns, and I'm going to pass it over to our players to give their intros.
My name is Claire. My pronouns are they, them, and I am playing Quidam, half-elf grave cleric.
And I am Olive. I use they and she pronouns. And I am playing Lovelace Centaur Barbarian.
And no other titles.
No,
right?
it's a new adventure.
Okay,
it's
okay.
a
Adventure.
new world.
That's right.
We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what's going on.
Yes. So, with that, let us pick this up. For those of you that have been watching before, I'm going to do a slightly different intro here, just because we're starting a new story arc. So, let us start this next leg of our journey. We are going to begin this leg of our story in the ruthless city of Baldur's Gate, where the two of you have been spending much of your time. We enter into a tiny bookshop, which is smashed between two oppressive stone buildings that loom over the cobbled streets. At the back of this shop is a hidden doorway, which reveals a stone staircase that descends down into the earth. The stairs open up into a dimly lit stone room with low vaulted ceilings. We can see there are 4 tables that line the rough-hewn walls. They are stacked with small chests, sacks of coins, and scales. And at the back of the room is a larger desk with a high-backed chair, and sitting at this desk is a short, stocky woman with dark hair and a red silk scarf tied around her forehead. In front of her stands the two of you. We see Quidam, a half-elf with thick purple robes, and Lovelace, a deer-sized centaur with braided hair going about to mid-back, I'd say? Lovelace? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. The woman behind the desk, as the two of you know, is Box of Screws, a kingpin for the most powerful criminal network known as the Guild within Baldur's Gate. She gently places a hand on a small black leather book that rests in front of her and looks at the two of you. Lovelace, Quidam, thank you for coming back here. As you both know, this is just one final job I need the two of you to do to settle all of our debts. Lovelace, I've already explained to Quidam here some of what this job entails, but I have come upon this interesting book here, and you can both see that scrawled on the spine of the book in kind of gold, embossed print, it says, "A deep and creeping darkness." Now, this book seems to be a fictional tale, but it refers to a lot of locations that are known on the maps. Bits of it seem quite factual. The part that most interests me about this book is it speaks of a village known as Vermillion. This village had access to a rich platinum mine. Now, unfortunately, this is a tragic tale that speaks of everyone within that village slowly disappearing over a period of months until eventually it was abandoned. She picks the book up, flips it open, goes to the back, turns it to the two of you, and you can see there is the last bit of the entry of the story, and then on the final page there's a very crude map drawn, and you can see a town marked in like a topographical top-down view of mountains that says Vermillion. And at the foothills of this mountain range, you see another town called Maerin. This here is Maerin, which is about 200 some odd miles south of here. I've looked at the maps and can confirm its existence, so what I'd like the two of you to do is travel down there with one of my associates, find out if this Vermillion exists, and more importantly, find proof that this platinum mine does in fact exist. Do you have any questions?
What happens if we don't find this?
Well, the job will still be done. If you don't find anything, just return back here and report what you do find.
And we'll be square?
We'll be square.
Where have I heard that before? Screws.
Well, Lovelace, you just keep coming back. Perhaps it's my face that you just can't get enough of.
Just can't stay away. Something about you just keeps reeling me back in.
Oh, certainly. Well now, let me introduce you to my associate. Manfred, will you come out here, please? And you watch from behind her down that stone hall that leads towards the back as an individual steps out of the shadows. You see this very tall, lanky human, about 7 feet in height. They have dark brown hair accompanied with a dense, wiry beard. As he steps out, you can see he's wearing a simple olive vest with what appears to be a gold chain coming out of a little pocket, on the front of the vest, and wearing this bright white shirt with the sleeves rolled up, which show off his hairy arms, which are adorned with fine gold bracelets. His sturdy brown trousers are tucked into these thick leather boots, which cover these very wide feet. And resting atop his head is a beautiful tricorn hat. As he comes out, kind of fiddles with the little chain, looks at the two of you. Yes, hello. My name is Manfred. It is wonderful to meet the two of you. Box of Screws here has told me that I will be accompanying the two of you on your journey south to confirm or deny whether there is in fact resources of platinum in this town. It's a pleasure to meet you both. Gives a little bow.
Nice to meet you as well. I will hold out my hand.
Oh, sorry, no touching. I apologize. I hope that is okay.
No, that's all right.
Thank you. Yes, this is my associate here. Manfred is one of my top fences. He has a keen eye for, well, let's just say ores and fine jewelry and finer works of art.
And Manfred, you're aware that we're going into a mine, correct?
Yes.
Underground?
Don't worry. I can handle it myself just fine. He pats a small little short sword he has at his side, and he kind of reaches over, and you see this tiny little holster kind of about at his chest height, and a little like handle sticking out the top, and kind of pats that too. I got this one here from the Hall of Wonders up in the upper city. Would you like to see?
I believe I know what that is. I ain't never seen one before, though.
Oh, yes, they are quite rare. But I love to go up there and see what they're working on, and I befriended some of the priests up there. You can see that around his neck he has a golden chain, and there's a small little cog that's attached to the chain. He pulls out this strange contraption with this like kind of wooden handle, what looks to be like some sort of metallic alloyed barrel kind of coming out the end of it. It's a bit crude, but it works quite well. You just put stuff in there, and then you get ignited with fire, and it boom, you know.
Yeah, aren't they real loud?
Oh yes, it's quite loud. I find it can scare people away if you know, not so it's quite a good shot or not, you know, scares them away.
And you've fired this device?
Oh yes, many times.
Okay.
Lovelace, I can tell you're concerned. Manfred has been with
I'm
us.
concerned. Yes, I would say I'm concerned.
Manfred has been with us for many years and got his start doing a bit of, just say, field work. Well, I trust him.
If you say so.
Can I get a beat on her impression of him and how she thinks this interaction is going?
Yeah, make an insight check.
That's a natural 20. 27.
My goodness. So
First
you
roll of the
are.
night.
Yeah, first roll. That was a really wonderful roll. So you are studying box of screws.
Yes.
Box of screws seems very confident in their employee they have with them. I don't know what else you really get out of that. I mean, it all seems. I'm sorry. It's like I feel like I know it's a natural 20,
Maybe
but
other
yeah.
things that are on Box of Screws' mind that may have passed recently.
You do notice Box of Screws is having a hard time making eye contact with you, Quidam. Box of
Yeah, I
Screws is.
figured that.
Box of Screws has been spending this entire conversation basically keeping eye contact with Lovelace.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah. So yeah. Hi, Nicob, I think. I think I might know who that is. Hi, thank you for watching. Appreciate it.
Got a couple new people.
Yeah. So, any other, so Box of Screws. Well, with that, if there are no further questions, I will be, providing the three of you with horses this time around. Help expedite your journey southward.
What would Lovelace do with a horse?
Well, the two of you.
I've heard some jokes.
Oh. I'm sorry, Lovelace. I meant nothing like that.
Of course.
Well, if there are no further, questions from either of you, I will be, giving this book here to Manfred. Feel free to peruse through it on your journey south. Quite a bit of interesting information in there that might be of use to you. And I wish all three of you the best of luck. And I sure do hope this will turn into a quite lucrative enterprise. Who knows? If the two of you, Lovelace and Quidam, want to get in on the ground floor here, you could get yourself a bit of a cut.
Box of Screws, it's too fast. You can't rush this kind of thing, going straight from one last job into like a job offer. Like you gotta at least wait one other conversation.
Oh, of course. I just thought I'd throw it out there.
We'll see if I come back with all my fingers this time. And Lovelace holds up her left hand, which is missing, I think, we said her ring finger.
That's right. Well, I sure do hope you come back with all your fingers as well. Very well. Good luck to all of you. And, she puts her head down and grabs one of her ledgers and starts going about her paperwork as Manfred walks to join the two of you. So, would the two of you like to begin your journey south, or is there anything else you would like to do before you head out of Baldur's Gate?
Well, I assume we have informed people who need to be informed that we are going away for a while. I have no clients right now. I have been careful about that.
How is the new baby doing?
Oh, very well. Both of them. I've referred Orla to the new midwife down in Little Calamsham. So, should any nursing troubles arise, she can go to her.
Oh, so you have a new child in your life?
No, but my next door neighbors do.
Oh, that's so wonderful. I'm so happy to hear that. Congratulations when you see them.
You got any kids, Manfred?
Manfred.
Manfred, excuse me.
It's, no, don't worry. No children for me. Just Manfred on his own.
Mm.
All right.
Yeah, I'm happy to gather my things and head out. Lovelace?
I'm ready to go. Been ready.
Alright.
All right. So as the two of you step out into the busy streets of Baldur's Gate and head out to get all your things together, you head for the stable on the outskirts of the city that we'll just assume Box of Screws pointed you to for the horses. Actually, you know what I like better is you go back to your home and you can see Katom standing there with two horses at the reins as you approach your the exterior of your home.
Could he be any more obvious?
This small halfling man standing there, kind of a scowl on his face, holding the two horses as you approach, and he just brusquely brings the reins to you, Quidam.
Thank you.
Welcome. Good luck on your journey. And he turns and starts walking off into the dusty streets of the outer city. And as you get up on your horses and start heading southward out into the warm summer day, you begin your journey. So, we're going to do a little bit of travel here. Going south.
Random rolls.
So, let me get situated here. I gotta get all my things in order, my tables and whatnot. Righty.
That's a good question. Wheezy's made a comment, Olive, about Lovelace's hair braiding speed. Was that affected at all?
I mean, it's gotta be, right? Like, I think Lovelace had to both learn how to braid her own hair at all instead of braiding other people's at the same time as how to adapt with the missing finger.
Mm-hmm.
Do a little bit of rearranging here. For those of you in chat, probably seeing me bounce the map all around. All right, so here we are out in the big, wide world of the Sword Coast. For the two of you, actually, this is kind of maybe a little interesting because the map has now suddenly zoomed out a little bit from the last time you looked at it.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot more here.
Yes.
Oh, dang,
indeed.
yeah.
And as you can see, it's far to the south. You can see the town of Maerin marked there on your map. You will be passing by the small town, or at least what remains of it, of Bearghost on your journey south.
Am interested in stopping by there.
Yeah.
Just to look, if nothing else.
That was the place that was attacked by the gnolls.
Correct.
A little over a month ago now.
Mm-hmm. So, let us kick this off, shall we? So the way we're going to be doing this, we're just going to break this up into basically 3 travel segments. It's roughly 3 days per segment, maybe a little more.
I just thought of something I'd like to do before heading out.
Of course.
If it's on the way, could I swing by? Do I know where the refugees from Baraghost that we quasi-rescued?
Yes. They are currently posted up in Sowsfoot, was where they were able to
Okay,
get.
so it'll be like on our way out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you like to do?
I don't know if we need to play this out with the scene, but like
Sure.
check in on them, let them know that we're gonna be going down there, and like, I mean, they left all their homes behind, right?
Yeah, do they have
like,
messages for folks back home?
Yeah.
keeping an eye out for anybody else down there, or like poking around the town to like see if I can pick something up, like some heirloom that they didn't have time to get out.
Yeah, so, oh boy, do I have, there it is, yes. So, heading out through the city, you're on these dusty streets. You can see kind of Manfred's awkward form riding there on top of the horse, kind of like looming above this animal, looking a bit comical. And Quidam, I'm assuming this is still a little awkward for you, but maybe a bit better after your time with Lovelace. I'm not sure.
I think I expected to be like riding Lovelace, and it ain't.
Yeah, so there's probably a little.
I've never steered before.
Right. Yeah. So maybe there's a little learning period where you're like just sitting there and the horse isn't moving. You're just expecting the horse to just.
Please go.
Manfred rides up next to you. Oh, give a little kick with your legs on the side of the horse. There you go. And the horse.
Oh, I've seen it. Okay.
Then you can use your use the reins there. You can help you steer, and you also want to use your legs as well. I don't really know how to ride a horse, by the way, so for those of you in the chat, I don't know if Tiny Valkyrie is in there, but I'm gonna embarrass myself if I go any longer. Anyways, so as you ride out of the city through these dusty streets coming into the Southfoot district, off to your right you see the large Dust Hawk Hill rising up before you, the hot sun blazing above. And you come into this district where you have all manner of folk. You see lizard folk, you see one or two hobgoblins, a few goblins scurrying about. This is the part of the city where some of the more recent refugees often end up, and those that are, I don't know, frowned upon, I guess, by polite society. But you would know, Lovelace, where to find the refugees from Baragos, and they have this small collection of covered. They have like one covered wagon and some ramshackle structures that they have built themselves over the past few months here. Thank you, Tiny Valkyrie. Yeah, just steer. Anyway, so you, Lovelace, head up to that covered wagon where Francesca spends her time, the elder of Baragos. You can see currently she's out in front of it, sitting on a barrel at the side, and she has this big basket in front of her where she is doing some work with grains. As you approach, she looks up. Oh, Lovelace!
Francesca!
Lovelace and Quidam! Oh, it's so wonderful to see the both of you.
How you
You
doing?
too as well.
She stands up and comes in for a hug.
Oh,
Uh,
all right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Gives you both
A
a
little
hug.
sequence of quick hugs.
Yeah. What can I do for you this day?
Hey, actually, it's kind of what we can do for you. We find ourselves heading down past Candlekeep again,
Oh.
towards y'all's homes.
Oh, yes.
And I just wanted to check in, see if is there anything back there that you've been meaning to go get?
There's not much left, I'm afraid. I honestly don't know. We got out of there so quickly, and a lot of it was burning. There's one thing, if you don't mind. If you go to a small home on the most southern side of the town, it should have a carving of a horse above the door, if it still remains. And if you could just go in there and... I had one painting I managed to acquire that, it was of my late husband. If you could try to find it.
Of course, Francesca.
I'm afraid it probably is lost, but perhaps it's there.
We'll take a look.
Thank you.
How are y'all settling in otherwise?
It's all right. Not the most support from
Yeah.
here, and we told the Flaming Fist about what happened, and haven't heard anything since. We've managed to find some work in the farms outside of the city. I'm not able to do much of the work these days. I just am back here making sure we have enough to make ends meet and make sure everything's settled for everyone.
Mm-hmm. Well, just so you know, the healers crew, we're I don't know, getting more busy these days, and if any of y'all ever want medical training or think that you'd want to work on a crew, our door is always open.
Yes, that's wonderful. I know there are some within our group that would be very interested in that. I will. Shall I send them to you?
Yeah, sure. We're gonna be gone a little bit, but I'll check in when we're back.
Good.
Talk to Melissa. Melissa Sampson.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's a human living somewhere.
Okay. I know where somewhere is. Of
She
course.
doesn't know where
Somewhere.
she lives.
What you
But
just
Don does.
Yes, what you just described makes total and perfect sense to me, Francesca, who lives within Baldur's Gate.
But specifically.
Oh, it's so specific. I know specifically what you're talking about.
I'm so glad. Happy to be a clear and precise communicator for you.
And let's head out.
And with that, you ride out of the city waving goodbye. Having to cross over Worm's Crossing, so both of you please mark off 5 copper pieces as you cross over the river.
It costs to leave, too.
Oh, that's a fair point. I think it. Yeah, I believe it does. I think it's a toll both ways because it's a river crossing. Yeah. So as you cross over Worm's Crossing and eventually get out on the open road, you start riding down the coastway. You are blessed with very clear weather, just slight breezes as they kind of come off the coast over these kind of open fields of chaparral and plains as you could head southward. So, for this, let us see what happens. Lovelace, why don't you do the honors? Because I know that
I love
you
rolling
love
dice.
doing this. So roll a d20 for me, please.
19.
Okay. Roll a d12 for me.
10.
Yeah.
All right. So, let's see here. Okay. All right. Let's move the token southward.
Lovelace. We haven't had an opportunity to check in with Kaylin Brightwood?
Kaylin Brightwood, the person that I would recognize the name of,
Yep.
as we know, is
the Candlekeep person, the nice old man who you didn't like.
oh, that nice old man that I didn't like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like him.
He. Oh heavens. He was the one who, or one of the people who asked us about the King Watsims. We never checked in with him. Do we want to swing by and at least relay the information to whoever's at the gate?
The person who asked us about it under magical duress, and then expelled us from Candlekeep for
Wait.
having our own private business.
No, Kaylin Brightwood. There we go. Gate warden. Well, we were a potential threat to the safety of Candlekeep. I really don't blame him much.
Lovelace. Candlekeep has stood for hundreds of years. It has some of the most powerful wizards in Faerun. Think Little us really were that much of a threat, or were they just kind
They
of
had no
letting the
idea.
power go to their heads?
They had no idea who we were. You must admit, the circumstances were rather suspicious.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
Oh, I agree. It was an overreaction, but do we want to check in with them? Just tell them that they shouldn't have to worry about being Watsons anymore.
I'm good. I don't know. It's a bit of a trek out there.
It is.
And, I mean, King Watsons will stop showing up they'll shrug their shoulders and move on.
All right.
All right. So, as you are riding southward, the days go by without issue. The first day, nothing troubles you, and the evening comes. You're able to settle down for the night. You are greeted with glorious stars above, out in these great open plains with a slight breeze kind of across the grasses. One thing the two of you kind of pick up on as you go, you notice that about maybe about every hour or so, like very frequently as Mumford is riding at the back on this horse, just kind of loping about, he's quite often just kind of like fidgeting with his jewelry and grabbing that small little chain around his neck. And about every hour or so, he raises it up in a very methodical way and says a little word under his breath and then lowers it back down.
After watching him do this like 3 or 4 times, I would like to quietly cast Detect Magic.
Oh, okay. Okay. You
We
cast...
have tools now. We're moderately high-level adventurers.
Yeah, I forgot about that, to be honest.
Oh,
Okay.
I just need to roll hit points at some point.
Yes, at some point. All right, we will do that at some
We'll
point.
that.
So you cast Detect Magic. We'll say this is on the second day. I feel like that makes sense. Like, you know, you're riding along, and then the second day comes around, and in the morning you're getting ready, and he does it again. You cast Detect Magic and focus in, and you see this radiating illusion magic coming off of him. And very strong illusion magic is it seems to kind of pulse and emanate from that tricorn hat and down through his body.
All right. I will let that rest for the moment.
Okay.
Any other magical items on him?
No. Just that.
All right.
I think Lovelace's interpretation of this is that he's a gigantic dweeb who keeps praying to some god.
Does that make me a medium-sized dweeb?
Absolutely.
Oh my god.
Although I don't tend to pray very often. At least not in public.
I would like either both of you or one of you with advantage to make a perception check for me.
Go for it, Lovelace.
Yeah. With advantage, perception is +5. Cow. 18.
18. Okay. Pardon me. Let me think about this. Okay. On the third day, as you pack up camp and get all your things together and set out, again, just in these great big plains of Chaparral with these periodic, like large limbed oak trees that sometimes crest over the road, and there's these rolling hills. Every once in a while you dip down into these kind of gullies and divots with the hills on either side, kind of rough, loose dirt showing up in the areas where erosion has taken its toll. And in the morning, as there's just a little bit of fog from the coast that is kind of hanging in the air above, Lovelace, you hear this heavy metallic clanking sound of armor, armored boots and armored gear moving down the road with a methodical coming from down the road.
Hey folks, we got some heavy armor coming down. Let's say we, take a little detour, let them pass.
All right.
Okay.
And I think I'm going to lead the troop off the road and kind of hide in the bushes.
All right. Go ahead and make a stealth check for me. Same with Quidam, and I'll do it for Manfred as well.
Five.
17.
Oh my god. Okay, gonna come down to Manfred here if I can roll.
What do you mean coming down? Like, oh, is it best of 3?
It's yeah, it's majority wins. So
Oh,
yeah.
Got it.
All right. So I will roll this for both of you. He gets a +6. Oh yeah, he is fine. So as you lead the horses off the side of the road, Quidam trying their best to stay quiet, but the jewelry just kind of clinking around. And for those of you that don't know Quidam,
Yeah, I have stacks of bracelets on both forearms, including, actually, Lovelace, you would have noticed this, 2 new ones. They are silver white, got one on each wrist, which kind of stand out from my usual bronzes and coppers.
And as this is happening, hi, the Pumpkin Witch. As this is happening, Manfred turns to you, Quidam, and goes, "Oh dear. Okay, let's." And he kind of reaches over and just gives a little boop, smack on the ass of the horse, which kind of kicks it up, and it starts riding off a bit faster. And Manfred just looks to you, Lovelace, and goes, "I think it would be better this way if they get away quicker. Hopefully whoever's coming won't notice." As Quidam, you're kind of like riding off, and you just crest over this hill and start kind of getting out of sight of the road as Lovelace and Manfred just trot up more gracefully behind. Lovelace, just as you are starting to crest over this hill and go down, you look over your shoulder and you can see there is a column of armored humanoids. Hard to make out from this distance, but they are marching in a very regimented fashion as they are working their way down this road.
I would like to get more details on these humanoids.
Hey, make a perception check as you're right there at the top of the hill, and you have to. What do you do to because you rolled a high enough stealth. What do you think you're doing to stay out of sight but scope these guys out?
Okay, so up on a hill, I think just trying to find a rock or something to kind of using going over the crest of it.
Yeah.
And maybe going further since I'm so fast. Moving further down in the direction that they're going.
Okay, yeah, so you peel off as Manfred and Lovelace continue down this little hill, and you see there is a boulder up ahead with lichen clinging to it, and you gallop up next to it, getting behind it and peer out, watching these individuals go by. Go ahead and roll your perception check for me.
Yeah. Gonna do great. It's gonna be great. 12.
12. Easy enough for this because they are not necessarily hiding and they are walking in this column. You are able to make out some details. There's one individual at the front. All of them are wearing... let's see, I believe they're all wearing plate. Half plate with shields. And you can see the one at the front with this very finely made helmet with some kind of what appear to be probably horse hairs coming off the top of it that trail down the back in this long ponytail-like fashion, and segmented kind of back neck protection. But you watch as this individual marching with stiff back, kind of scanning the road as they go. Their skin tone is this deep orange color, and you can see a familiar bright blue nose adorning their face. You see that multiple of the other individuals at the back, also with this orange skin tone and some kind of snaggled teeth, are poking out a few of the individuals, these sharp predator-like teeth. The ones at the back, though, their noses are not as bright and blue. Most of them are much duller in coloration. And you see that there's 2 at the front of the column that have pikes, and on the the pikes themselves mounted to them, you see these decapitated heads, the jaws kind of hanging, tongue lolling out, long snout, mangy hair coming down of familiar gnolls, just the tongue lolling out of the mouth. And at the back of the column, you see two more with pikes with the heads mounted on them as well. And this column of hobgoblins is working their way down, and the leader at the front just seems to be scanning the road as they go.
We got faction fighting. They're hunting gnolls.
Should we thank them?
No. I think we should let them go on their way. They seem to be doing great.
Yeah, I'm in support of what they are doing. Those gnolls killed a fair few people.
Hmm? Those hobgoblins might have in their position too, but
Quidam.
Yeah.
Yes, Quidam, you notice Manfred is fidgeting quite a bit more at the mention of hobgoblins. As he kind of starts like very anxiously grabbing his rings. You watch him grab onto that little symbol and do that motion once more and utter a word under his breath. He looks towards the two of you. Can we please be going now? Don't want to be out on the road with hobgoblins moving about.
You had bad experiences with them?
Yes, I just would prefer not to interact with them.
All right, we don't have to.
Thank you.
I mean, there might be more.
Possibly.
Perhaps we stay off the road for a bit for the rest of the day.
I don't know if that's called for. They're not exactly like stealthy.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, let's just make good time.
I heard you speaking of Sinol's. Do you know the story of Sinol's, where they came from? It's quite fascinating if you'd like to hear.
Sure.
All
we got
right.
time.
We do.
Just keep your eyes open, okay?
Oh,
Don't get
yes.
too distracted.
Of course I will do. And then he proceeds to completely ignore all his surroundings and give you a lengthy, detailed history of the gnolls. And he is, for whoever is going to listen to him, I don't know if one of you just starts ignoring him, but he just starts going into lengthy detail about gnolls and Inagu and how they came into the world, and, or at least the stories and the way they go. You do notice, though, that he does, at one point, he stops and goes, this is, of course, the stories that are told by those that know of these things, and
By humans, yeah.
yes, by the humans, like me. I am a human man, and this is a thing that that we know of, but it could perhaps be inaccurate as stories go.
Humans do have control over the dominant narrative about pretty much everything around here.
Oh yes, it's a thing that I appreciate with working with this box of screws. Whenever we get our hands on new works, she always lets me read it first before we sell it to clients. And we do end up with the more rare notes and more rare works that are written by others other than humans. Human history is of course quite good, because it's human. It's just like me. So as I was saying, Inagu is the demon lord that brought in the gnolls, and he just goes on and on.
All right.
Lovelace tunes out.
This poor man.
100%.
All
I pay
right.
quite close attention to Manfred. Is it Manfred or Momfred?
It is spelled Manfred, but he pronounces it Manfred.
Well, then
I think
will
Lovelace
pronounce
is also getting it wrong. It's like, hey,
Mumford.
Mumford.
And every time he goes, oh no, it is Manfred.
Oh, of course, yes.
So, at the end of this third day, you come to rest, setting up camp amongst the hills. And yeah, Mumford continues to tell you stories if you will listen as you get ready for bed and having your food. And just before bed, you see him do his little prayer. And when he goes to sleep, he really tightly bundles himself up, almost covering like his entire body as he sleeps.
Guy must be cold. Probably hasn't camped outside the city before much.
Well, please.
Yep. Yes, Quidam?
I'll take first watch. Would you take second?
Okay.
All right.
All right.
When we change watches,
Yeah.
our new friend is not human. I don't know what he is, but he seems very concerned that we think he's human.
He did say that he was human.
Yeah, most people who aren't human, or most people who are human, don't say they are. They just assume that everyone knows.
Yeah, I think he's just super awkward.
Oh, that too. But he's and I imitate the gesture that he's been doing.
Yeah, awkward, like I said.
That's magic.
What is he?
No idea. I am perfectly fine letting him do his thing. Just as a heads up.
Cool. Great. Thanks for letting me know.
Yeah.
If he, like, I don't know, starts, like, chewing on a, I don't know, rotten limb or something, or, like, sucking our blood, just, I don't know, let me know. I'll keep an eye out.
Yeah, all right. I don't think he's a threat to us. At least not right now.
Or on purpose.
Yeah.
I haven't heard great things about those things he was holding. Like the exploding pipe thing.
Oh, yeah. Mostly I've heard that they're loud.
Yeah. We'll see.
Yep.
And with that, as you exchange watches and bed down for the evening, Quidam, you get through this evening without issue, and we'll come to our kind of next leg of this journey as we go.
I'm going to go ahead and roll hit points for myself real quick if that's all right.
Yes, of course. Sorry, we were supposed to do it at the beginning of the stream, but we kind of forgot. Both Lovelace and Quidam have just leveled up from our previous adventure. So Quidam was going to roll live, which they are doing now. What did you get?
I rolled a 5.
Woo! Nice!
Yeah.
Very excellent. All right, so with that, as you wake up in the morning feeling invigorated somehow. Lovelace, did you want to do something?
No. I'm not rolling because I rolled a 12 on my first roll, and I'm happy walking away from the table with the like $10 I made at Vegas.
Yep. Smart. All right. With that, as you wake up to another clear day. Oh, that reminds me, I've not been keeping track of my calendar. So let me do that real quick. I know it's just absolutely captivating for the audience to see me mark down on a calendar, but
Show us the calendar.
sure. Here's my little oh, you got it. It's just all blown out. You can't see anything. It's just bright white. Well, that's what happens when you hold a white piece of paper up to a camera. Anyways, it's a small calendar. I'm keeping track of time here while we play because I think it's fun. It makes it a little more immersive. They are in the month of Kythorn in the year 1492 in Faerun. Anyways, so as you wake up on this next leg of your journey, Quidam, why don't you do the rolls for us this time? We all know how that went last time.
Watch it be a nat 20.
Oh my goodness.
No, that's a 10.
The 10, okay. Let's see what that is, shall we? Okay.
I'm glad we didn't have to fight a troop of hobgoblins.
Roll a d12 for me.
5.
Roll a d10 for me.
6.
Okay. Cool. All right. So, yeah, I think it makes sense this is happening on that first morning as you are waking up. You wake up and you're getting your gear together underneath this large oak tree just off to the side of the road, and both of you, your ears pick up, and all the while Manfred is just there while you're getting your stuff together, prattling on about some other thing. But both of you pick up the sound of armored boots once more. Quidam, you're the first to hear it as you are getting ready.
We might want to hurry up and scoot out of the way. I'm hearing more, not hooves, boots.
Oh dear. Actually, that's a fair point. They, the closer you listen, you pick up they are in fact hooves from something. But the sound you thought was the armored boots is the clinking of armor as it's moving and jostling about. Manfred kind of starts very quickly getting all of his stuff together.
Mounted folk or a large amount of centaurs.
Oh, that could potentially be good. You know that the centaur, I believe...
Let's not count on it. Keep packing.
Oh,
Go.
right. Yes, of course. Starts packing up. Quidam, as you get your stuff together and look down the road, you can see that coming from the south, there are 3 humanoids on horseback, but you can just make out as they're kind of at a steady pace. They have red, tabards on over their armor, and you can see the familiar symbol of a bright orange fist wreathed in flame on the front of their tabards as they're heading north.
Oh, we know how to deal with them, though.
What would you like to do?
Just keep packing up. I'm not going to try and hide.
Okay. Lovelace?
I mean, I would like to get hurried, and if there's opportunity, get out of sight.
Okay. Again. Go ahead and you do a stealth check for me then.
Okay. Let's see.
It's just me and Manfred here.
Yeah, Manfred is just focusing on putting his things away, completely oblivious to Lovelace, which got an 11.
And 11.
Manfred still doesn't notice doing this. But Quidam, you definitely notice as Lovelace just slinks off into the bushes. You just finish up packing as this contingent of 3 horsemen go riding by, and you do see they look and make eye contact with you. Going into the north. They do not stop. And that is it.
I think you're all right, Lovelace.
Where did Lovelace go?
Oh, she stepped out for a moment.
Is she all right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess I have all my things together now. We can go if you want to.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. Lovelace steps back out.
Oh, Lovelace. Didn't see where you went. Okay.
I was very obviously hiding behind a very thin tree.
And as you all gather your things up and start heading south, the days go by without issue. You, at one point, ride past and you can see the small trail leading to the west, the Lion's Way. And there is a small, wooden sign, and you can see one way is pointing to the north, says Baldur's Gate, and then you see this little sign says Lion's Way, and Candlekeep written on it, or carved into it. And far off...
Quidam.
Yeah, go ahead.
You think they might pay us to let them know the King Watsums are no longer a thing? Think we could spin it like that?
I don't know that they would.
Okay, that was just my one thought.
Fair. And I stay standing there for a moment, looking down the lines way. Look back at the other two. I would like to cast Sending to Kalen.
Oh, wow.
You can do what now?
Wow. You could do
I
sending?
have achieved true power. This is one of the most powerful spells in the entire game.
Oh, no.
Texting.
This is like Bane of a DM. You could just
Yeah.
contact any NPC at any moment.
I am aware, and I do apologize.
That's fine. I'm excited. I am ready for this. So you cast sending to Kaylin Brightwood.
Yep.
Okay. What do you say? Are you gonna count? Do you want me to count?
I can count myself.
Okay.
They're like
You don't-
TikToks.
Yeah.
Mr. Brightwood, I don't believe that you will have to worry about getting Watsons anymore. Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
That's it.
There's a moment of pause. I believe with sending, the person who receives it knows who sent it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. You hear the familiar voice come through. Ah, Quidam. Well, that is quite good to hear. I will just have to take your word for it. And I will let Irony know that there is no longer a problem in Baldur's Gate.
I don't know if I would say that, but all right. I say aloud to myself and keep going.
Okay. At the end of the fourth day, as the sun is starting to go down, you can see up ahead these dark, jagged shapes on the horizon. And as you get closer, you can see the blackened buildings of Berghost, with just what remains of this wooden palisade along the edges of this small community. All of it blackened and charred. You can see a little bit of new growth, though, is kind of sprouting up from some of the charred logs themselves. And the ground of the place, which you could tell used to just be stamped in dirt, probably mud. Some of it is still even a bit caked and hard. There is now little grasses and weeds that are poking through and kind of giving this nice bright green coloration to the otherwise dreary and black landscape you find yourselves in.
Right. Should we spend the evening outside and take a look around tomorrow morning?
Sounds good to me. Good place as any.
All right.
Okay.
Come on, Fred.
Oh, yeah, that sounds good.
We do that then.
Okay. Settle down on the outskirts of the town for the evening. I would like, again, either both of you to make, well, actually, since there's only 3 of you, why don't we do each of you doing a perception check for me? This is like your watch this evening.
Seven.
8.
Both of your respective watches, you sit there and all you can really hear is just the very low but guttural sound of Momfred sleeping, this kind of low growling purr as he sleeps. And he's just, as always, just bundled up, and all you can really see is like a little bit of that dark hair kind of out the top of his wrappings, but that's about it.
When the watch changes, I want to start a betting pool with Quidam.
Okay.
About what he is. What do you think, catfolk? He's purring. What if he was a gnoll? No way. He ain't never heard no. He did know a lot about gnolls. What if it was like some kind of like super intelligent gnoll?
Well, I don't think we've seen any indication that they ain't intelligent.
Yeah, but like, book learning smarts.
Sure. I ain't gonna make any bets. I'll tell you what. If you want to bet with me, I will give you 2 copper if you are correct, but I'm not gonna make any guesses myself.
Wait, none? Come on. Just, you gotta have thoughts.
No.
God.
Sorry, operations.
Yeah,
Being distracting.
I just did the same thing. Oh my god.
Knowledge
That was
is power.
that was such a palpable. I felt my whole body go. Ugh. We love you, Operation. Anyways,
I don't yet. I've honestly been trying to think how I could make him a little more comfortable.
See, yeah, and like knowing what he is would go a long way for that.
I'll think about it.
Yeah. That 2 copper. I'm gonna say, book learning null.
All right, 2 copper it is.
Yeah.
all right.
1 copper if he's a catfolk.
All right.
All right. As you exchange watch and bed down for the evening, thankfully, nothing comes to you this evening. All you are left with is just the sound of the wind blowing through the ruined buildings just on the periphery of your camp, which is a bit unsettling at times, hearing the kind of whistling. But other than that, nothing provokes anything in the evening. Following morning, you wake up and you want to...
Yeah, go to the south side of Bear Ghost and check around for a carving of a horse above a door.
Okay. I would like either both of you to make an investigation check, or one of you can do it with advantage.
We'll do that.
You do that with advantage.
Oh boy. 12.
Okay. You walk up to this small blackened home, and you do see just barely there's what remains like the front half of a carved horse on the front of the door. And it is a building with a like peaked roof that goes all the way down to the ground. Stepping inside, you can see the remains of a burned and tattered bed. There's some bits of cupboards that are just in disarray on the ground as well, blackened, and there's an entire left half of the home is just missing the roof and is completely exposed to the elements. But as you are digging around the rubble, Quidam, towards the back of the building near this bed, you get down on your hands and knees and look under the bed that's been kind of collapsed down on one side, and you can see there's something brass that catches the light under there. Grab
Reach
it.
for it.
Kind of slides out, and you pull it out, and you can see there is this brass framed painting. Probably the bottom corner, about a quarter of it, has been like just withered away from the exposure to the elements. But you can still see there's a bit of a depiction of what appears to be Francesca and her husband there next to her.
Is this thing particularly portable, or is this a like bring it on our way back situation, or like a little like shrine?
Yeah, very small. Like probably like about that big. What is that? Less than 6 inches. Yeah.
Postcard sized.
Postcard size. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll throw that in one of my packs.
Okay.
Sure.
Thanks, Guillaume. Good eyes.
Yeah. I would like to just add curiosity, cast Eyes of the Grave and also just see if I can get a beat on the energy in this place.
Sure.
Is this simply abandoned? Is it unrestful in any way?
You close your eyes and reach out to the surroundings around you. You just hear that faint wind. You feel a little bit of a chill, and you get flashes of snowy peaks in your mind's eye. And as you open your eyes, there's nothing around you, just the elements, the wind, and the burned out structures surrounding you.
Oh, okay. Nothing weird around me. I was like, there's
You
nothing.
stand in
I'm
a
just
void.
gone.
Yeah, sorry. You open your eyes and you find yourself just where you were before, the burned out structure.
All right. But that chill down my spine, I felt that before.
You have, yeah. This wasn't quite the same as the time you were with Box of Screws. This was as if a very cold, biting wind suddenly caught the back of your neck, and then you saw those flashes of high, snow-capped alpine peaks.
And I ain't never seen a mountain in my life before.
Yeah, that's right.
This ain't the first time I've seen natural phenomena that I ain't never seen before.
That's right.
All right.
Okay.
Well, let's move on.
The next and final leg of your journey is blessed with clear weather once more, but you do notice as you are going further south, the temperature is starting to rise just a touch. And probably on your third day here on the road, Quidam, you see off to your right, to the south, as the road starts to curve off to the east, the distant hazy blue shapes of what at first you thought maybe were hills, but you're realizing due to the perspective in the distance, these are mountains far off in the distance on the horizon. And you watch as the color changes throughout the day. They're kind of a hazy yellowish blue at the beginning and towards the height of the day, and as the sun starts to go down, they turn into deep, deep purple in coloration. And you see little flecks of gold and orange catching the corners of the peaks as the sun dips down below the horizon.
That's beautiful.
Sure is.
Yeah, I miss the mountains.
You from the mountains, ma'am, Fred?
Oh, yes, I grew up in the mountains. It was much more pleasant than down here where it's so very hot.
These mountains.
Well, not these ones, no. It's north of Baldur's Gate.
All right. Do mountains ever have snow on them?
Oh, yeah. It's quite common, depending on the elevation. There's something about the elevation of a mountain which enables it to... the temperatures drop the further up you go, and then the rain, the precipitation, it will turn to snow. So it's quite common.
I never thought that made more sense. Like,
Yeah, the closer
you're getting
to the sun you get,
yeah.
Oh,
the
no.
colder it is.
It's quite cold up there. It could be a bright sunny day and it could be quite chilly. I miss it so much.
You got a lot of family up there? Where are they like?
They're all right. I haven't seen them in years. Anyway, I believe we're getting quite close.
Like Lovelace was about to like jump back into like a whole bunch of like more like very pointed probing questions, but like that actually like takes her aback. She's like, okay, right. This person has feelings, and I identify with those. I'm an
Family can be
empathetic individual.
So, before you make it to Maerin, Lovelace, it is your turn. Please roll a d20 for me.
18.
Okay. Roll a d12 for me.
3. We can take 3 hobgoblins.
Alright, if the two of you don't mind just doing some role play here while I figure out what happens with those rolls.
Okay,
I have
so
more questions.
for the mountains,
Yeah.
probably not a knoll. I don't know. I mean, I guess it
Oh.
could be, but like maybe some kind of like snow leopard catfolk.
Lovelace. He's right there.
Looks over. He's like looking at.
He has the little black book open right now, and you see he has these tiny little rounded spectacles on the bridge on the end of his nose, and he's just kind of riding there on his horse, slowly reading this book. And you see him take out of one of his little vest pockets this small little contraption, and he pulls off like a cap on the end of it, and you see him start writing in the book, taking little notes.
He's not listening. See, watch this. Wow, I sure wish that I knew more about Knolls. No, the Outer Plains. See, look. If he had heard, he would have jumped super into that.
Leave him alone, please.
I
mean,
am.
Feel free to make friends and be friendly, but he's very clearly insecure about not being human. Humans have a lot to answer for.
Yeah, he's not wrong about that.
I've actually been meaning to ask, Lovelace. Is there a name for the kind of tree that looks like it has feathers? They ain't normal leaves. They got like fronds. Or not fronds, really. Really tall and pointy, but not
The tall pointy ones. They kind of like have like that kind of like sap. There's like that scent of them.
Yeah, they smelled like kind of like chewing gum.
Yeah, evergreens.
Evergreens.
Yeah, they never lose their leaves.
What do they do in winter?
Just keep them. Seems sensible to me. Why go through all that trouble growing leaves if you're just gonna throw them away?
Why bother being born if you're gonna die?
I don't know if I follow, but glad you're having metaphysical revelations.
No, I'm just learning about trees. All right. Mountains that get colder the higher you go, and trees that don't get naked in winter. I don't think I told you this last time we were out here, Lovelace, but the world's awful big. There's a lot of space around here. Like, and I gesture to the open plains that we have come from.
Oh yeah, isn't it great? It's so much better than that cramped up city. You can hardly like run without like trampling over somebody's, I don't know, chicken coop.
Funny. I feel small.
But you could go anywhere.
Sure. I just don't know. I'm realizing I don't really know much about the world outside of Baldur's Gate. I don't know, I just never really thought about it before.
I mean, you're worrying about the world that you're living in, right?
So much space, so few people. Kind of feels like Baldur's Gate is an island out on the river. Kind of lonely.
Can't get off it.
And as this conversation comes to a close, you can see up ahead there is what appears to be a forest is starting to come into view. You can see kind of the edges of it. And in fact, some of these oak trees that you've come accustomed to are starting to periodically give way. You see other types of trees sprouting up. And right at the edge of this forest, as the dirt road is coming into it, Lovelace, you see, or sorry, Quidam, you see sprouting up from deeper within this pointed tree rising up above. And as you go under the canopy of this new forest, you can see that some of these trees do in fact have those feathery-like leaves, and the scent within here is starting to pick up to quite a pleasant scent. But the temperature is still quite hot underneath the canopy here as the midday sun is rising above.
Reach up and stroke one of the evergreens.
It's got a very rough texture to it, and as you get to the end of it, you can almost feel a bit of a film on the end of your fingers, this kind of sticky substance. And
I wouldn't wipe that on your clothes if I were you. It'll stain them.
Oh,
you can see these slight dark marks are now on your robes.
That's rough to get out, Quidam.
oh. Oh well.
And as the day comes to a close and you settle down for the evening to camp out, as you are setting up, the temperature here at night, it starts to drop significantly colder than it's been down in the plains. You find yourselves getting closer to the fire as you're getting settled in for the evening. Just as you're getting ready for bed, though, Momfred does look over at the two of you. We're almost to the town of Maerin, and neither of you have asked much about the book I have here, but I've been reading through it and there's some very interesting things. Would you like to hear some of the information that's within here?
That would probably be good. I suppose I have one question before you get started, though.
Sure.
Box of Screws said that this was a work of fiction.
Well, it's hard to say. There's mention here of a lot of historical things. The town of Maerin, the description of the mountains here. It could be inspired by, but it's hard to say. Hopefully it's real. Well, hopefully some of it is real. Apparently, there was a tragic accident in the town of Vermillion. There was 60 miners, an explosion in the platinum mine, and they were buried under rubble, tons of rubble. They were trapped there for weeks. Only about 16 of them came out alive by the end of it. But that's not the end of the tale. It says, flips through some of the pages, that as this went on and the community was grieving over the losses of so many of their own, that people started to disappear. This was only the miners at first, those who survived. Maybe one or two here every 10 days or so. But the pattern persisted. until eventually all of the miners were gone, and then the villagers started to disappear. The village did everything they could to try to stop this. They would pair up with each other, never leaving each other's sides as they wandered the streets. But there are stories of those that would turn in the night with their partners, and when they looked back, their partner was gone. In a flash. Individuals started sleeping with their weapons. Didn't matter. The next mornings they were gone. Weapons still lying there where they were. Eventually, people began to flee the town. Only a small few left behind until there was no more.
That's awful.
Yes, well, as I was saying, hopefully that part isn't true, as the villagers started to believe that the town itself was cursed. But so you know how humans can be with their curses and all that. So it's...
Yeah, but Box of Screws, like, I don't know, sends folks out on these, like, wild goose chases, and they have an awful bad habit of being real. Being cockatrices instead of gooses.
Well, but this could be very lucrative. I understand why Box of Screws wants to invest in this. I think it's just a
very
tale.
in keeping with Box of Screws.
Oh, sure. Do you have experience with Box of Screws sending you on the, as you say, wild cockatrice chase?
I mean, you saw my hand, right? Lovelace holds up. It's my last job for that individual.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I do remember you. You used to work with Box of Screws. I remember seeing you every once in a while.
I'm hard to forget, I hear.
You know, I suppose so. It's not terribly many centaurs in the city. Not terribly many that work for the guild.
Do you remember the whole tree endeavor? It was just like the same pattern. Like, you hear a legend, send out a whole bunch of folks, get folks killed, come out with it marginally richer.
Well, if I remember correctly, you came back and you had something to show for it as well.
A little bit. I mean, I don't know. It's like all the worst parts of Legends without the payoff.
I suppose. Trust me, what you brought back was quite good.
If you say so. Didn't get me out, obviously.
Well, Box of Screws is,
Put the screws on, you know. Anything else in that book of yours?
Oh, that... Yeah. Oh, that's how she is. Yes, always little notes. She takes little notes and then looks at you. I remember
Trust
this
me.
thing. That's the thing that you did. I know how it goes.
I swear, she's just doodling in those. I don't think she even writes stuff down half the time.
No, I would not say such things around her. Trust me, she's very particular. She's very detailed.
Always been detail oriented.
Oh, you know Box of Screws very well?
I wouldn't say very well, no. We've had our dealings.
Fair enough. So if both of you, or one of you, can make a perception check as you are sitting here around the fire.
I can do it.
Okay. I would like to spend time thinking about if I've ever heard anything like this, curse,
Sure.
this disappearance.
You can make a history check.
I got 19 on perception.
Ooh. Very good.
13 history check.
13. Nothing that is specifically like what is being described here. Sure, there are plenty of stories about curses and, things, people disappearing or what have you, but nothing quite like this. There's no details in here that are like jumping out to you to be like something specific. It could be any number of things. So.
All right.
You got a 19. Lovelace?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. All right. I swear I'm almost. I totally am ready for this.
I believe you.
All right. As Quidam and Manfred are just finishing up their conversation, Lovelace, you kind of listening in to this last bit of the conversation, you hear something behind you in the trees. This bit of a...
I am spooked from the ghost story.
Okay. You look over your shoulder and probably about 30 feet away, up in the tree, you can see this, what appears to be kind of a bulbous shape coming off of one of the branches. Branches kind of sagging a bit. And you hear this very faint...
I javelin it. I'm gonna javelin it.
Lovely. What?
Okay, so you whip around. You whip around, pulling your javelin out, and we are at about 9 o'clock here, so we're probably going to end right at this moment. As Quidam, you see Lovelace whipping around, pulling this javelin out. Go ahead and make an attack roll for me, Lovelace.
It has gotten far too close for my comfort, and it's too large a thing. I don't like it. I'm going to attack recklessly.
Yes, you are.
Javelin. Could I... Okay. 15 to hit.
15 to hit. I realize we should really quick, if you don't mind. I'll let you keep that attack roll, but let's do a quick contested initiative check here just to see if this thing can react before you get that throw that javelin off. So
okay.
Let me see what it gets. Okay. Sorry, I got my order wrong. Whoa. Okay. I don't know if you're gonna beat that.
I got +2 and a spark in my eye. 13.
So as you are rearing back to throw, this thing gets to react. Let me see here.
I'm so ready to roll my second attack too. I get 2
I know.
Yeah.
But okay, yeah. Let me roll this for my. Okay, so I'll roll this publicly so you can see. Okay, that is a 20 to hit. So
Yep, that's a hit.
So Lovelace and Quidam, you see this as Lovelace whips around, getting ready to throw, and then Lovelace, you suddenly hear this like sickening sound, and you see something come hurtling through the trees, and it slams into you, and you suddenly feel yourself get knocked down onto the ground. Not quite knocked onto the ground. You just feel yourself bend, your back kind of bending and straining as something sticky and heavy just envelops you. And Quidam, you see this sickening, thick, webby substance just covering Lovelace, and it's all coming down onto the ground, holding you there in place. And you suddenly hear this strange and this bulbous shape skitters on the branch and kind of comes skittering down the trunk and starts going towards you quite quickly, Lovelace. And you suddenly hear all these other sounds in the trees above as other multi-legged creatures in the trees above you start. And we're gonna end
Grab my mirror.
tonight's session there, as you can hear the branches creaking and moaning, and little bits of needles start down from above.
From evergreen trees.
From the evergreen trees. Yes, unfortunately, Lovelace, you did not beat its initiative, so it scurried down the tree towards you. And just as we are ending, the thing that you see is this strange bulbous shape quickly, like it's bipedal as it's coming into the light of the fire. And just as we are ending, you see this strange kind of distended bulbous belly, this weird fleshy like fat neck going up into this strange like circular head with all these little eyes on it, and these multitude of pincers and little feelers all along where the mouth is, and there's like a little bit of dripping coming out of that area just as it scurries into the light. Okay.
Little gray spider.
So with that,
What are these called?
yeah, I don't know. So with that, let
shepherds.
us wrap this up. Sorry, I'm like doing a million things at once, everybody, and I was trying to figure out where I was. Okay, we're good. We're ready to end this.
Wait, I want to murder!
I'm sorry, it's not.
Join us next week.
Yeah. Please. Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. I hope you enjoyed it.
We have a bunch of people. Welcome, all of you.
We did. Cool. Let me see. Oh yeah, look at that. Wow. Yeah, that's a lot of people I don't recognize. Cool. Hi. Well, thank you so much. And yes, if you did enjoy this, please let others know. And if you can follow us, we're almost to 50 followers, which is really exciting. A landmark for us. But yeah. All right. Yeah, anything else?
If you are new, just coming in, we have all of our previous episodes on YouTube. You can also find them here on Twitch. They're technically highlights here on Twitch. It's the entire episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, we have them all, and you can find out what Quidam and Lovelace have been up to prior to this. They pissed off Candlekeep. They rescued a troll.
They pissed me off first.
That's true, yes. They rescued a troll, and they saved their community from a slithering tracker and a douchebag patriarch of Baldur's Gate. So, anyways, thank you, everybody, and I hope you all have a wonderful night. Bye!
Bye.
Good night.